Like arch it, yeah. Just look up at the ceiling now. Let it arch. Yeah, you're not gonna hurt it. There you go. Try to come up on all fours. Try to keep it arched. There you go. Come up that way. Yeah. Just stay on the backside. Lock it. Keep it on the backside. Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah.
Keep it. You're not gonna hurt it here. It's gonna be. You're gonna hurt it if you.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts a lot less getting up this way than trying to get up on my side.
Yeah. Just keep it.
Back 10 years ago, I cracked both of my heels jumping off a trampoline. I landed incorrectly. It shot my knees into terrible pain.
Which you landed on the knees?
I landed on my heels.
On your heels.
Which cracked my heels, which ruined my knees, which caused my back to be a complete wave.
Okay.
So I was going to therapy for about a year, had my feet both in braces to adjust them. And then now it's just been a little domino effect of always something going on. Go ahead.
Any imaging of your back? Did they take any imaging of your lower back after that trauma?
It's been again like 10 years since that happened, but then just through these last couple of years, little things here and there. I go to a chiropractor in Orlando. He did an x-ray of what was going on, and I still have an imbalance. So he did an exercise with me where if I close my eyes and march, I'm not in the same spot. I ended up on that side of the room.
Gotcha. But no MRIs though, no magnetic resonance imaging?
No, not for back pain. I did get an MRI a few years ago because I had a hemiplegic headache.
Okay.
And so what they were saying was it had something to do with one of my nerve endings on the left side of my neck is smaller than my right.
Okay.
But they weren't able to really come up with any sort of idea as to why. So right now what I deal with most is neck pain here, where it just feels like a kink, where it like makes me want to try to pop it,
Release
but it won't pop.
Tension, okay.
Where sometimes I walk around like this, and then as of this last week, the right side of my spine just feels like there's a knot or a kink or something where I'm having to crawl out of bed on my knees. And then the week prior, my wife gave birth to our baby girl, and so my tailbone has been hurting for the whole week. So it's like, who's healing better, my wife or I? I'm not sure. So just a lot of uncomfortable burning sensation pain where I'm just like, I don't want this anymore.
Okay. What do your knees and heels feel currently?
So they feel a lot better now. I haven't had any major pain for the last couple of years. I do have I'm very flat-footed, and I've just kind of gotten used to the adjustment like in shoes and exercise routines, but I don't have any pain now. This was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I had a very sharp pain in my left knee where it felt like I was getting like a needle pressed in, and all I did was, I don't know what I did. I think I just did like a wrong movement.
Okay.
But healing wise, I was just trying to continue to walk. I put some sort of cream, some magnesiums, whatever on it, and would just try to maintain it and be careful. Eventually it went away.
Okay. After you have a trauma like that, very likely the joints are going to quit.
Yeah.
When you injure, like I was talking with your brother-in-law, when you have an injury like that, it's the real problem that I have is that you end up healing with less parts of your back working or less joints range of motion. So the joint's supposed to be able to bend 50 degrees and now it's only bending 30 degrees, right? So you're going to lose some of that mobility and then pain when you try to move it more than what it's allowing you to. So we want to make sure that we're not losing any of that mobility that you're supposed to have. The mobility actually washes the joints, so they're actually cleaned through mobility. And so when you have an injury like that, your body expects it to happen again. And so it's going to say, well, he might jump off this trampoline again and land on his heels, so we're going to put all this extra bone in here to fortify the joints larger, which then, again, that's what restricts the joint motion. I mainly care about the lower back because the lower back is the employer of the leg. Really, the leg does things that the lower back and spine tell it to do. So I'm going to look at your alignment of your spine here. Go ahead and stand up for me. So the head's about an inch forward from the middle of your shoulder to your ear. Go ahead and look up for me. Just look gently, let your head go back. Keep going. So the initial fold is right down here. There's some folding going on up here, but the first crease appears right in the lower neck. So we want to increase the mobility up here to take the stress off your lower neck. Part of that kink, go look straight forward. Part of the kink is the joint. So you can feel the knuckle in the spine. It's got a lot of nerve endings in it, and so when a joint swells, it feels like there's pressure in there, and then when you pop it, it releases the air bubbles in the joint, which gives you relief, and then 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, you feel like you have to pop it again, and then If you keep going down this path of repetitively popping a joint that's injured, it will start to grow. The only way for that symptom to go away is for the stress on the joint to be lowered, and now it's not swollen, and then you don't feel the desire to pop it. Also, by getting your whole neck working, you're not going to be able to. So the reason why you're able to pop the lower neck is because your upper neck is tight, and that isolates your lower neck, allowing you to manipulate it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The more forward your head goes, the tighter your middle back becomes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a neck issue, it becomes a middle back, lower back issue, kind of by domino. And then you sit, how many hours a day would you say?
7.
Okay, so while we're sitting, I'm going to show you at the end of our visit, there's a device we're going to put in your chair that you're going to use the rest of your life,
Yeah.
and then eventually on the floor to restore the curve to your back. Has anybody really mentioned the curves to your spine before me?
It's been years.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Good. Well, at least I'm always usually the first person to mention these things, and then people are like, really? It's supposed to be... Yes, your back is supposed to be curved.
Yeah.
And this is why we have lumbar support in seats. What are we supporting? The lordosis, the arch.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that symptom comes because that lordosis is not what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We can't simply adjust the curve back to your spine. We have to stretch it in the same way that it was lost. In order to stretch it, we have to make sure everything's working.
I'm not one that takes like painkillers or anything, and I had to take one this morning because again I couldn't get out of bed and I couldn't sleep.
And that's the back pain causing this.
Yep. So it's like a soft tissue on the right side of my spine.
Head back for me. There we are. You move it. Exhale. Keep going. There we go. Deep breath in. Very good. Exhale. There you go. Nothing. Okay. Deep breath in. Exhale. All right. So you can see we got some imbalances there, right? That first part moved okay. Nothing from the middle area.
Yeah.
A little bit from the top. We're gonna try to work on that and get that moving a little better. So kind of more midline here or more outside?
Right there, yeah, and it goes up.
Uh-huh. So this is more the ribs attachment. So it's not real close to the spine like here.
A little bit there.
A little bit here?
Yeah.
So it's this. These are the joints between the vertebrae here, and then these are the ribs that attach to the outside. We're gonna try to close them down a little bit. Deep breath in. Try to twist. Exhale. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Other side. Other side. Breathe. Exhale. Wow. It's okay. Face up. It's okay. We're not gonna go hard enough. Face up. You need to be loosened up first. Those bolts are frozen. And the worry is that if I push harder than that, force is going to go into the parts that are injured, not into the areas that are frozen that are causing the ones to be injured. So I want to first work on your back a little bit, and then maybe at the end we'll try that again. All right, let your chin go up hard as you can. Now relax your neck. Now relax. Now relax. There we go. Uh-huh. All right, yeah, we got work to do. There you go. There we go. Uh-huh. There you go. There we go. All right, come on. Let me have it. Let me have this side. There we go. There you go. All right. How'd that feel? You okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There we go. So just some apprehension in here. We have parts of your neck up here that are working less than they're supposed to, and then that's what enables the lower neck to be overstressed. Getting your atlas axis, the upper neck, working as best as I can. Up here, yeah. That feels lovely, Ed.
Yeah. What I even noticed was last week when my tailbone area was hurting,
Uh-huh.
you can literally look at my hips and you can see them offset.
Right, your body's gonna fidget. It's gonna
Yeah.
move things around to try to find relief. So that's the effect, that's not the cause.
Mhm.
That's your body trying to move the hot potato in your hand.
Yeah.
Because part of your hand is being burned, and so you move it to an area that's not burned.
Mhm.
So that will only stop when there's no longer a need for it to happen. Where, Ed, I didn't do anything. All I did was sit and rotate and grab a pencil.
Yep.
My back went out. Right, that's because the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah,
had
makes sense.
You had it at a place where it didn't require very much to push it over the edge. There you go. There you go. It's a tale of two necks here. The right side is all actually relatively clean, and then this is just, I have multiple scars on this left side. This is like a hair comb to your internal tissue. It's a way to, and real quickly, there's a mark coming out right there where there's that click. Right there.
I wonder if that's what made me have that. I mean, I pretty much felt like I was getting a stroke. My whole left side went numb. Literally had to go to the hospital. That's when they did MRIs, and I felt like it was a useless visit because I couldn't figure out really as to why. But
what time of day did it happen? Morning, evening?
5 p.m.
5?
Right when I was finishing up work.
Uh-huh.
And I slurring my words, could hardly speak. I get rushed in an ambulance because again I thought I was getting a stroke. Like I'm 24 years old. I shouldn't be having.
Well, there's definitely, we would say, decreased blood flow to some part of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be slurring your speech without part of your brain not getting what it needs. The nervous system controls the muscles in the arteries. So your circulation essentially is controlled by, you understand, the nerves that leave your back. And so having inflammation in here affects the circulation, which then it can affect temporarily, hopefully. They call it transient. You're saying transient ischemic attacks typically are what they call mild strokes. There's no permanent damage, but you have the effect of an area not getting what it needs, right? And so and thankfully your body, the spasm went away, or what was causing the blockage stopped, and your body went resumed normal function. And because there's no permanent damage and there's nothing actually there because it was just a muscle spasm, there's nothing to detect, right? There's no evidence left now. What happened is gone. But I would relate that to, yes, your nervous system, inflammation, stress. End of the day is going to be typically when there's the most inflammation buildup, right? Because you've been beating yourself up all day. That's kind of most arthritis is typically worse, it's swollen in the morning, and then you feel better, and then it gets worse at the end of the day, tension from stress.
Makes sense.
But yeah, this is not right there. This is where your neck belongs, and we want to end today's visit by showing you how to hold your neck in this position.
One of the exercises that I try to do is, if my neck starts hurting, is to put my head off the edge of the bed.
It's good. It's a mild way to do it. Yes, that's fine.
But that's the only thing I've ever thought of or read to really do to help with that. Because I definitely look down a lot.
Yeah, the dead roll is way more effective, but that's sort of a first step. Yep, fine. Get a little more for you. There it is. Ooh, that was nice. That was that same joint moving completely, fully closing that joint. There you go. See how it's much smaller now?
Mm-hmm.
It's much more dissipated. Wow. It's almost. You get the idea?
Mm-hmm. There doesn't feel like there's much of a bump anymore.
Yeah. Whole left side of his back is all elevated. This shoulder blade, the shoulder's elevated, here's elevated. There we go.
You're not even touching the right side, but
I know.
it's just shooting all over there.
Oh gosh. Well, this is the cause.
Yeah.
That's my point. This is the cause over here. The left has been handing off its burden to the right, and this is just the sprained area. You just been busting that out because this is under functioning. Right here's your problem. What's going on back there?
Well, they're like, I can see them. But that's right. Good job.
That's right. That's right. It's a mess right there. Yeah. Has anybody showed you this thing right here? No? Not so much? All right. I keep going back to it because it's the most, right here, it's the most restricted part. No kidney issues, no problems going to the bathroom or anything? All that's okay?
Not that I know of, but no, I'm good.
Okay, I'm saying this is the same nerve that goes to your kidney, so.
Yeah. I mean, going to the bathroom actually hurts right now. Like, number 2.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like that pressure.
Yeah.
And so...
That's around the same time this started, though?
Yeah, just as last 2-3 days. but it was like the pain was right where those little indents are, like right there.
Right. I understand that
Yep,
here.
right there.
Yep. That's L5 being overstressed.
But I'd love to know why. Is it the way I'm sleeping or sitting or?
No, it's your alignment. It's your alignment that's putting imbalances in how your spine's working. So when you're holding your child, or when you're sitting on the toilet, or when you're living your life, you don't have your team working evenly. This is not moving in here.
Oh.
It's totally frozen. It's a piece of cement, and so you surprise, your lower back. This is killing you down here. This is underplaying, underfunctioning.
And then I threw my kid up, so I have a 2-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we came home after our baby girl was born, I kind of threw him up, playing with him a little
Sure.
bit. And oh man, I was like, oh, that pain just got 10 times worse.
Yeah, I get you. It's just, nobody wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich where all the peanut butter's in one clump.
Yeah.
No, that's how I make my sandwich. I put it in one clump. You have to spread it over the piece of bread.
Yeah.
The work is all clumped up in one spot, and we're going to move it over more surface area, larger surface area.
Are those just knots?
Yes, these are the roots of your neck. So these are the attachments into your shoulder blades, your rhomboids. The more forward your shoulders go, the tighter the rhomboids get, trying to hold your shoulder up, where it's supposed to be. Back. Diaphragm attaches in here, quadratus lumborum, traps, lats, large intersection, Times Square, where it used to be Times Square maybe, right here. And so we get injured, we hold our breath, this area gets fortified, and then it doesn't heal with the same suppleness that it once had. And so then these surrounding areas now get overstressed. Something like 80% of our pain comes from this soft tissue bruising. It's something that can't be measured with an x-ray or an MRI. I've had people where, let's say I take an MRI on your first visit, work on you, completely take away all your symptoms, and you can master all my stretching. We take another MRI after a month or two, and then it looks identical, right? Yet you feel totally different as a person. Does that make sense? So the image doesn't show all the components for what cause pain. So I call these the immeasurables, and it can be seen, it can be felt. You can go, oh my gosh, that's so tender when I touch the area, but it's not quantifiable on a blood test or an x-ray or an MRI. To me, this starts off as a joint injury, and now the muscles, again, like I said to you earlier, right, the muscles get tight to protect. So now you have kind of a stressing and straining of these muscles because they're trying to increase stability to an injured joint, ligament. So now you do have muscle injury now, but that's only a consequence of the original injury. Not there. Not the butt. Right there, feel that? Yeah, it's not supposed to be that. It needs to stop all this. It needs to not be like this. There we go. Good. Getting flashbacks.
Oh, I know the pain.
PTSD. Where do you get that? Give me a medium dead roll. Where do you use? You can use that today. Just like arch it. Yeah. Let's look up. Like look up at the ceiling now. Let it arch. Yeah. You're not gonna hurt it. There you go. Try to come up on all fours. Try to keep it arched. There you go. Come up that way. Yeah. Just stay on the backside. Lock it. Keep it on the backside. Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah.
Keep it. You're not gonna hurt it here. It's gonna be. You're gonna hurt it if you.
Yeah, I mean, it
let
hurts a lot less getting up this way than trying to get up on my side.
Yeah. Just keep it on the backside. Close that joint. You have a cut. There's a cut in there. It's like a sprained ankle. There's like a wound. If you have a cut on your skin,
Mhm.
you don't want to gape it.
Yeah,
You want to close
makes sense.
that wound. It's like a piece of fabric. If it's under tension and there's a tear, right? The more you bend forward, you're going to pull it open. You want to bend back and then butterfly stitch it, and then hopefully it doesn't keep re-injuring it. But you will injure it on the front side. So try to. This is where driving and sitting in your work necessitates that, and that's why I want you to take this device to work. And we're going to lay on it in a second, but this is what we call a lumbar dental roll. It's an orthotic to help maintain that arch that's supposed to be in your back. I got you. Come on back. There you go. I know. Lay back for me, so she can. It's okay. You got it. There we go. Almost there. Bend the knees for me. There you go. Let your body start sinking into that. It's gonna not feel good, but you're not hurting it. I promise you. You understand? You have to let it sink in. Let your body accept the mold. Try to push it a little bit. Come on. You're not gonna hurt it. I promise you. You will not. It's gonna hurt like the dickens, but you're not gonna hurt that back. You're compressing and closing the wound over there. There you go. There you go. Good. There you go. Good. All right. Bring this back up and then stay in the middle. You okay? Yeah. Just take a break here for a little bit. You gotta let that be okay that you're compressing that. Time is more important than the depth. Okay. So the first goal is to do 20 minutes on this. I don't care if it's with 2 books. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I want 20 minutes of time with pressure right over that spot that's killing you. Let's go knees right. You got it. Keep that back locked, and then get those legs underneath you. There you go, good, yeah. Yep.
Right.
You have to stay at least until it's calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be very careful about not rounding it out, and you're gonna be just fine. It's just like a cut. Once you keep the wound closed, it's not gonna get that injured. You understand? Moving my arms, I'm not gonna move the cut, right? But if I sit there and pull it open, you're not gonna tear it more and reset the wound. But it's an internal cut in there. This type of move would rip it more because you're extending, but then you're flexing to throw. You're just moving that cut, and then it bleeds a little bit. And
Or like that same motion I was pulling the stroller out from the car, so bending over.
yes, you can't do it. You got to stay on the back side.
Having kids
It looks-
actually body.
It looks kind of awkward, like you're just, there we go. So much better now. You just stay on that backside and you're gonna be just fine. But it's the joints. It's not the disc per se. It becomes the disc if we keep ignoring that. It'll become my foot's going numb or my getting sciatica. That evolves. This evolves into that 5-10 years of letting it lock up, letting it fester. That becomes a disc injury. But right now, this is just, the joints are loaded with pain fibers. The level of pain doesn't directly correlate with level of injury. Just the injuries it's like a paper cut on your finger or your lip or something. The areas that are loaded with nerve endings, so it feels like the end of the world, but it's just an area that's loaded with nerve endings. I'm trying to think if we want to try to compress it a little bit more. We could try. Let's go on your side.
Okay.
And then put it, rest of your life, pretty much. That makes sense. You're trying to emulate what we did on the floor. This device, the company that makes this didn't design this to be used seated. It's meant to be on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's meant to have the chiropractic care to prep you for this on your back. But if you're sitting for 7 hours a day, the story's gonna leave Ed, I feel great, but I gotta live with this thing behind my back. You understand? And then the more you use it, the more care. Ed, I can go 3 hours sitting with no pain. Now I can go 5 hours sitting, and your leash will get longer. That's how this progresses, and we're never gonna get to the disc injury place.
Okay. Awesome.
Did great, thanks, your pleasure.